Welcome to Random Thoughts. Since everyone will be new to this page because this is the first video, I'm going to ask for you to hit the like button, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell, and select all. The goal on this video is to get 100 views, at least 10 to 15 likes, and at least 5 subscribers. Make sure you turn on the notification bell once you subscribe to all notifications. I'll try to post at least once a week. If I don't, just keep tabs on the page and I'll post when I can. So this topic involves a 23-year-old, which I believe he's now 26. At the time he was 23, a 26-year-old truck driver that was involved in a fatal accident that occurred off I-70 in Colorado. The gentleman's name is Rogel Medoros. Apparently his truck lost brakes, and a video shows where a bystander or a person that was trailing him as the truck was swerving, he did not use after losing brakes, even after him checking the brakes, stating that the brakes were fine, the person behind him showed where there was an off ramp that he could have used after losing his brakes. Now we can speculate and say there were other things that may have been involved, but this is why I would like to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Let me also say this: I have not watched the court case or the trial, so I'm going based off of articles that I've read and the news. So let's go ahead and jump in and listen to what they have to say here.
There's an appeal plan for a truck driver sentenced to 110 years in prison for a fiery crash that killed 4 people along I-70. Rogel Aguilera-Mederos was found guilty by a jury and sentenced this week in Jefferson County District Court.
So that sentence has some people very upset. CBS 4's Rick Sallinger covered this case since that crash happened in 2019 and now reports on the efforts to lessen his sentence.
James Cogan, the attorney for the truck driver, says there will be an appeal, but it won't be based on that 110-year sentence. Instead, it will be about any errors that might have occurred during the trial. But still, that sentence is raising more than just eyebrows. For those who drive the big rigs, what happened in Colorado this week is startling. 110 years in prison for Rogel Aguilera-Mederos in the fiery 2019 crash that occurred after losing his brakes.
It's unbelievable, honestly, because it could happen anytime, anywhere. And if the brakes fail, the brakes fail. It's a malfunction. 4
people were killed. The truck driver convicted of vehicular homicide, assault, and recklessness, bypassing a runaway truck ramp and swerving in the stopped traffic on I-70.
I'm begging for forgiveness.
His attorney told CBS 4 there will be an appeal. An online petition on change.org has around 2 million signatures now calling for clemency or commutation of the sentence. The governor addressed that.
We review all clemency applications. We've yet to receive one from the individual.
Some, but not all, the victims of the crash settled lawsuits against the trucking company involved, but it has since gone out of business. The truck driver now left to bear the brunt of what happened.
The loss of life is sad regardless, but 110 years, that seems a bit much.
Truckers like him who pass by on I-70 may not notice, but there's a small memorial to this very major crash.
Okay, y'all, so there was a lot that was said. I want to focus on the petition. They got 2 million signatures already, and that's a lot to basically, I think it's commutate his sentence. I mean, we're talking about 110 years. My question or my thought is the liability. Of course, I know he was driving the truck, but I think they said something about the lawsuits have been filed with the company and settled for most of the people involved, which I know that will happen, but They said the company has since then gone out of business. It's kind of like this young man is out on a limb by himself. And in no way am I taking away from what happened, people who lost their lives and people who were injured. This young man has a family, and he's 26. And could you imagine him being put in jail for 110 years? Of course, you know, let's say he gets out on good behavior at half of that, 60 years. So he'll be 86, 90 years old, 80, 90 years old. But I want to know you all's thoughts on this particular video. I read some information, which I'll post a link to. I want to read you just a part of this. This comes from Michigan Injury Lawyers. It has to do with truck accidents. And it says truck crashes caused by brake failures and other brake problems on tractor trailers and other large trucks contribute to many catastrophic collisions on the road. A DOT, or Department of Transportation, study shows that 29% of all large truck crashes in the U.S. involve brake failures, brake out of adjustment, or other brake-related issues. Then it goes on to talk about the liability and all of that. I will post that link, the link to the article, in the description. But, you know, this is very unfortunate. I just caught wind of this, and it's very, very sad of what happened. But, you know, I think it shouldn't be, in my thought, shouldn't be solely the young man's fault. I think the company, maybe even the manufacturers of the brakes, because it was stated that, I'm going to actually pull up an article and show you. It was stated that the young man actually checked the brakes prior to continuing. So here's the article. The article is titled, "Truck Driver Sentenced to 110 Years for Deadly Crash Stemming from Brake Failure, Even Though Everyone Agrees It's Unreasonable." There is a paragraph that I have highlighted here that actually states Aguilera-Mederos was not under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Road rage wasn't determined to be a factor either. He did reportedly pull over to check his truck's brakes before the crash, but determined it was safe to continue. Video shows him bypassing an emergency ramp, which is what we saw in the video. Someone was telling him, and apparently he was, you know, driving erratic or what have you, because the brakes went out. He could have used and struggled to keep his truck within the lanes of the highway, at one point forcing a pickup into the shoulder. So he actually checked his brakes. So if he checked his brakes and he thought they were fine, is it his job, being that he's not a mechanic, or is he a mechanic? That would be something I would ask. I did not watch the court case, so maybe they stated that information. But being that he is not, if he is not a mechanic, to me that would make sense, because if I were to change my brakes, I would be liable for what happens if I go to a place and have my brakes changed. I just got my brakes done, and I leave that place and my brakes go out and I hit someone. That's going to be my fault in a sense, but the brakes were just done by the dealership, so they're going to be at fault because I just had them changed. Now, of course, there'll be an investigation to see if something happened where my foot, you know, they'll do all that stuff. If my foot missed a brake and hit the gas, you know, but those are just some thoughts I have. Stated that the company had gone out of business, which I tried to do some digging to find out if they did. So based on that information, you all, I want to know your thoughts on this whole case, this whole accident that occurred back in 2019. Keep in mind, this young man does have a family. He's a young man. He's trying to provide for his family. You know, it's very hard to determine what's right in this case. I mean, because you have the loss of 4 people, lives lost of 4 people in the crash, and several others injured. You know, of course, I think something should be done pertaining to the young man, but at the same time, I think liability should be up across the board with the company, which I understand they're dealing with lawsuits, but it's kind of like it's just him and his lawyer. Hopefully his lawyer can find information to, you know, help out the case, because I think I think the lawyer already stated that he was going to appeal. Also, with the signatures, it was mentioned by the mayor that the gentleman or the individual in Rogel has not stated anything to the mayor about the situation. So I don't know how the signatures work and commutation works with the signatures, but that will be interesting in the coming months. But again, I want to know you all's thoughts on what happened. What if you're a truck driver, what do you think? A lot of these things in this video I am allegedly stating because I have not watched a trial. Some of these things are factual based on the articles, so I want to state that as well. This is also fair use because I'm providing commentary. I'm educating myself along with the viewers. They're educating me, and so on and so forth. So I thank you all for watching Random Thoughts. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell. Till next time, you all take care.